while I was in the hospital getting a heart transplant, I became a student, and I had to tell myself, what did I do all these years? What did I tell the kids? Number one, you got to be serious. And when I first got into that hospital, I probably wasn't serious. I was in denial. I wanted out. And I had to realize I was really sick. Everything was shutting down, and I had about a month to live if I didn't get a new heart.
Many people want to be leaders. Fewer understand what it really means to lead people well. So what separates the two? Welcome to the Lead with Purpose podcast with your host, Merv Jersak. Each week, you'll hear honest conversations with leaders who have been in the trenches and have stories to tell. They'll share their practical wisdom to help cut through the noise and get to the heart of leadership. So let's get started.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Lead with Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Merv Jersak, and as always, you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and go to my website, peoplefirstprojectmanagement.com. My guest today is Jimmy Owens, who to me exemplifies those leadership aspects that we all want to cultivate within ourselves. And let me tell you what I see Jimmy as. He's a mentor, he's resilient, he works with purpose, he leads with purpose, and he's a character builder. So I think that fits Jimmy perfectly. So Jimmy, welcome to Lead
Thank you,
with
Mark.
Purpose. And I'm honored to have you here. You and I have not known each other that long, I don't think. But
Maybe
in
a couple years.
that couple years, yeah. But in that time, I've learned parts of your story anyway. I know that you're a longtime USA swimming coach in Southern California.
Yep.
You are or have been a DJ and have your own entertainment company.
Yep.
And most recently, you're a heart transplant recipient. So we're going to explore all of those, but let's begin with your story from shaping young athletes to then getting into the more dramatic events of the last couple of years. So,
Beautiful.
yeah, can you tell us a little bit about how you started with the swim program and dealing with kids?
Absolutely. Back in 1981, whoa, my chair just fell. Back in 1981, I was a pool manager and a swim lesson instructor. And I had just finished college, and I was teaching swimming lessons. And there was a brand new coach in my city. I lived in Simi Valley, California. And she said, "Well, you're really good with the kids, and I need an assistant coach," because she had a brand new team. And her name was Ingrid Dayland, and she still her family runs a swim school in Thousand Oaks, former Olympian. And I said, "Well, I've never been a coach before, but maybe I can try this out." So it turned out that I really enjoyed it. It became my passion because the kids were improving, and when you see improvement, it's almost
Yeah.
when you're an athlete, like when I was an athlete in school, when you win a race or when you score points for your team, it makes you feel really good. I'm gonna say what I tell kids. It's better than any drug you're ever gonna take. It's better than any alcohol. It's better than anything you're ever gonna know. You when you win something, you feel good about yourself. And when I experienced the same thing with the children as they were getting better and better, I experienced that same feeling. So that really made me want to continue to coach. So her and I worked together for 10 years out in Simi Valley. And then I ended up going to the motion picture industry, and I worked there for 12 years. And I ended up getting injured in the motion picture industry. And I'll be happy to tell you that I broke both my hips and both my knees. Had to get both of them replaced, all multiple surgeries.
Oh,
And then I said, "What's the one job that I really miss?" Because it was too hard to go back to work after the injuries in the motion picture business. And the one job I really missed was coaching. So I had also been a high school coach for the whole time I'd been in Simi Valley for 10 years. And then I went back to coaching high school. And that was in 2012. And I coached Royal High School as the swimming assistant water polo coach. And then I transferred to Moore Park High School, coached their water polo and swim team. And then by mistake, I had a friend in Valencia who happened to be in your mastermind that I showed up to one of the events, and he was there. And I was like, "Dude, I've known you since 10 years old." What? Marcus Slayton. I don't know if you
oh,
remember
Marcus. Yeah, I know Marcus real
Marcus,
well. Yeah.
the triathlete. So he had a job here in Valencia, and he was like, "Hey, Jimmy," because I used to be his babysitter. That's how well I've done. Yes. I had him on the phone call yesterday at Craig's house, and he was like, "Yeah, Jimmy used to be my babysitter." So, small world. It's a small world.
So, let me interrupt you for a second, and
Yeah,
I did a little research on you, Jimmy.
yeah.
It says you were a five-time
Yep,
SCS Southern California
yep,
All-Star coach
yep.
and two-time Marmont? Marmont?
Monty League, coach of the year.
Unbelievable. So, I in I guess in dealing with those coaching those swimmers for, I guess, almost over 35 years now,
Yes.
up and down. So, what do you think are some of the leadership principles that you emphasize most when you're mentoring young athletes?
Well, the I'm gonna tell you that the first thing that I tell all the kids about is, number 1, you gotta take action to do something. And you've got to be serious about what you're doing. And that means, guys, you wanna get better, you don't just show up once or twice and practice and practice a little bit. You gotta give it your all. My mentor probably was John Wooden, the UCLA basketball
Yeah.
coach,
Uh-huh.
and he created the pyramid of success, and that pyramid of success was been on my wall since I was in high school. And, I would tell the kids that his philosophy or his, uh, quote of success was, "Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result in knowing you have done your best to become the best you are capable of doing or becoming." And I'm not you, so I don't know how hard you're working. You have to put it in yourself. You know when you've worked hard and when you didn't work hard.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest things I taught the kids. Another quote I'm going to use that I quoted in the newspaper and I've quoted to my teams after almost every game was, um, when I said, "Life is a journey, not a destination." And it's not about reaching a destination, it's about who you become on your journey. And it changes all of us as we work together and we work hard and we become better. It changes all of us. And I think that's the biggest thing I instilled in the young athletes.
Yeah. I my own 2 daughters, when we lived in the Roseville, Northern California, Roseville, they were on the swim team. In
Oh,
fact, they're part of Sugar Bears, which is where Summer Sanders got her start.
yes. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah. So, and I remember specifically the discipline, the accountability, the perseverance that they had to put through, and I'm thinking from a coaching perspective, how did those skills that you teach in the pool, those discipline, accountability, perseverance, how do you think that translates then to the real world of leadership outside of of the sport?
Well, that's the funny that you say that because I feel that as a coach, I train these kids to become prosperous people in the community, not just great swimmers. And how do I think it translates? Number 1, being responsible to show up. Number 2, being serious about what you want to do. You've got to want to win. Doesn't mean you got to take first place, but you got to want to be better than what you are. Um, Inspiration. That's very, very hard sometimes when it's freezing cold or when it's raining, and half the kids aren't there. You don't want to go to practice, and you have to self-inspire yourself sometimes. And even me as a coach, this is what scared me the most when I became a coach. Was like, oh, when I was a swimmer, I could miss if I wanted to. When I'm a coach, I can't miss. Every day, I got to be there. So it was like, oh my gosh, that was a big change in my life that I couldn't take a day off unless I asked for that day off and they knew I was going to be gone. So that inspiration to show up when the kids were there, it inspired me even more to give them my best. And finally, I'm going to say motivate. Who has to motivate you? You have to motivate yourself.
Self,
You know,
yeah.
I can't motivate you to do things that you don't want to do. So that's kind of what I feel that the kids have learned from me and how it pertains to their life in the future.
So it's interesting that as you named off each of those, I could
I
almost
know
count
it
them off
well
on my
too.
fingers. I put myself back in the boardroom when I was running large IT projects, and exactly what you talked about with those young athletes in terms of discipline and accountability and motivation. I was thinking that's exactly what we had to do in the boardroom to get our teams ready to develop systems and deliver them to our customers. So the leadership lesson, I could stop the podcast now, Jimmy. We're done. We have our leadership lesson today.
Wh what
But
I'll tell you, Merv, what I realize is the philosophies that being an athlete and improving yourself translate into business, translate
yeah,
into entrepreneurship. translate into your life, whatever you're doing. I think as a young person, I was taught treat the company like it's yours, and
Sure.
that's how you'll move forward. Um, I don't believe any longer. I'm old. I'm in my mid 60s, and I was told, "Yeah, find something you believe in, work hard, and do everything right, and you're going to be successful." Well, that just doesn't work when you go to work for a corporation. You're building somebody else's dream. So
Right.
I finally learned that you have to want to build your own dream. Become an entrepreneur. That's to me, that's where things changed.
Yeah, and a lot of our listeners probably are bent that way, but a
Yes.
lot of my listeners are also people who want to build their dream within a corporation, and I absolutely, having spent 40 years in
Yes.
in business, it's one of those things where we really do have to put forward exactly what you were talking about. But I'm fascinated by you've crafted a philosophy that you call SWIM,
Correct.
oddly enough, SWIM.
Yep.
Tell me what that stands for, first of all, quickly, but how did you develop that and how can leaders apply it to their own endeavors?
Well, first off, the development probably came over years of me being the coach on the pool deck. Um, but the way it actually came around was while I was in the hospital getting a heart transplant. I became the student, and I had to tell myself, what did I do all these years? What did I tell the kids? Number one, you got to be serious. And when I first got into that hospital, I probably wasn't serious. I was in denial. I wanted out. And I had to realize I was really sick. Everything was shutting down, and I had about a month to live if I didn't get a new heart. So, with that being said, serious was the S. You got to want to win. You got to want to be better than what you are. I sat in that bed every day. Just getting up sometimes was like swimming a mile.
Wow.
Just walking to the door was like the hardest thing I did. Now I was the guy that told the doctors who doesn't make it out of the hospital. I'm a coach, man. Get me up, make me walk. I have people that don't get out of bed, don't make it. So that was the biggest thing. I had to want to win, and I never once told myself, even though I was scared, that I wasn't going to make it. That was a big mindset thing for me. Never say you're not going to make it. The inspiration came from all those people that helped me in that hospital. Um, Inspiration to me is I looked at those people in the hospital, came into my room day after day after day. I was there for 5.5 months, Merv, and it became my home away from home. And they inspired me to want to get up every day and want to do things. And when I got the new heart, they inspired me to get up and walk and climb stairs and do things to make myself stronger. And to me, that motivated me. Inspiration didn't mean I had to be best, but I had to do something.
Hmm.
Motivation meant even when I felt tired, even when because when you're laying in a hospital bed, I lost 60 pounds in that hospital.
Wow.
Not the best way to lose weight, but
No.
I lost mostly my muscle. And I said, gosh, man, it's harder and harder and harder to do this. But I had to motivate myself every day to do it. And that's where the swim came from.
So if I that's great. So S seriousness, and
Serious?
I'm gonna try to put this in my own words, what I just learned from you into business. So serious, that's like discipline.
Yep.
Winning, that's like W for winning. That's like getting the best. Even if you don't finish first, you finish well.
Correct.
Inspiring. So as a leader, we want to inspire our teams. We can't motivate them, as you said before. They need to motivate themselves, but we can inspire them, and then we can, for the motivation, the M within swim, that would be to set the environment for them to be able to motivate themselves. How's that?
That's perfect.
Oh,
I love that. I'm gonna have to steal some of what you just said too, so I can talk to entrepreneurs.
I'll send you the recording.
That's awesome, buddy.
But I said that we would go from your time as a swim coach with kids and then move on into the events of the last couple of years. Your heart transplant has only been recently, right?
It's been 2 years.
2 years. Wow. So, in terms of that, and I'll call it a health journey because that's the most serious kind of health journey.
Yeah.
But having learned some lessons through that health journey, how do you now take that and make sure that every team member or every athlete that you coach understands those same lessons?
Well, the biggest thing I think that happened with me, um, I didn't take care of myself. It's a
Ah,
lot easier to take care of others
yeah.
sometimes, and you forget about yourself. And I missed doctor appointments. Oh no, I got to go to a swim meet. I can't go. Um, I learned that if you don't take care of yourself first, you're not going to be able to help other people in the future. I mean, I honestly learned that lesson at that moment when I was in that hospital and they said, "You're not going to live if we can't find you a heart." And I said, "Whoa, man, give me medicine and get me out of here." And
Yeah.
it wasn't going to happen. And luckily, after 3 months, 4 different hearts came in, but they finally found the fourth one that fit into my chest. And so I got prepped for surgery 4 times. And
Oh,
uh, it finally worked. God's plan was for me not to leave this earth yet. I have something to do here. You know,
yeah.
I think in that journey, I will say that I learned and I try to teach the kids take and not just kids. I try to teach entrepreneurs that I work with. I have team members as well. Take care of yourself so you can take care of everybody else. That's the big thing.
No, that is good, and it's the same thing in the boardroom. I keep going back to the leadership concepts in the boardroom. If you don't take care of yourself as a leader, how can you incentivize or influence your own teams to move better, move forward better? So that's a great lesson.
Correct.
Um, okay, you've been a coach. You've gone through this drama. For my audience, who aren't, most of them are not coaches by profession. I come from the IT consulting, the boring stuff, right?
That's
So
okay.
my people aren't coaches, but what practical steps do you think that they can borrow from sports? From you as a coach, you put yourself as a John Wooden right now, right? What practical steps do you think that they can borrow from sports to build that winning culture within their own teams and organizations?
Number one, I think this is the biggest thing is you got to believe in yourself. Number one,
Yeah,
you got to believe in yourself.
yeah,
Um, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. They're going to know it. They're going to feel it. So you have to believe in what you're doing. You have to have some vision. With your teammates in the real world, you have to come up with your idea. You have to have some vision, and then you got to promote the heck out of that idea. That doesn't mean every single idea is going to work, but you got to have vision. You have to have empathy to your teammates. You have to feel like, okay, everybody's not going to be perfect, and you can't berate them for not being perfect. You have to inspire them still, so that's what a good leader will do.
yeah,
And continuous learning. I think, for me, the really good thing about our mastermind groups and, the people that we hang around with, I learn from, and I feel that that is continually changing the way I do things. Just because I coached from 1981 till now, and I'm still coaching, by the way, um, I doesn't mean it's the same. I'm completely different. Am I a little bit old school where I'm very strict? Yes, especially with the young ones. I stay strict. And as they get older, it becomes a little easier. But it's much easier for you to be hard in the beginning and get easier as things go better.
yeah.
As you get
No, that concept of always be learning, I remember, was it which coach? Now I'm showing my own age here, but one of the coach would always stand up at the beginning of the year and say, "This is a football," meaning we have to get down to the basics and
yep.
then pick up from there each and every year. So, no, that's a great thought. Hey,
I I
our
wanna say
time.
something about what you just said, down to the basics. I gotta say something about that. When I coached water polo, because I was a water polo coach as well, that was the first thing we would do each day. This is the water polo ball. This is how we throw it. This is how you egg beater kick and tread water. We would work on the basics, basics, basics every day, and then finally get a little more finesseful as we got along with doing well.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, our time is drawing to an end here, but you know how I like to close these podcasts. I like to give you some rapid fire closing Q&A questions. So I want to, test your
Oh, boy.
test your ability to pick up on some of these things. But here's my first question for you, Jimmy. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What's one word that, in your mind, describes the most essential quality in a team?
Essential quality in a team, I'm gonna say, oh my gosh.
Ding, ding,
Consistency.
ding.
Consistency. Sorry.
Oh, that's good. Consistency. I like that. Yeah. Um, what is the best advice you ever received about leading others?
Best advice I ever received was never give up on anybody.
That's very good. Do you have any morning routine habits that set you up for success during the day?
I do. I get up every morning and I'm an early riser. I get up at 4:20. First thing I do is I check my emails and check my text messages. That's the first thing I do in the morning. And then I go to work to coach my adult swim program. And because I have a lot of triathletes and a lot of adults that still work out. Um, and then I come home and I finally get to eat breakfast. And that's about 10 o'clock.
Oh,
And
wow.
I try to do my personal business, my speaking business that I'm working on, online for about 2 hours, and then I finally take a relax, and then I go to nighttime coaching, and I write the workout up, and that's my everyday routine.
That's great. So, in concert with that, then what do you say is the most important question that a person in leadership should ask themselves every single day?
Are you ready?
Ah, good. I thought you might say something like, "Are you making a difference?" But no, "Are you ready?" That's
Are you ready?
nice.
I
Yeah.
ask the kids that every day before I start the first set. Are we ready? So I wanna hear them say, "Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, I'm ready." And
Well, Jimmy,
that's the difference. Merv, thank you.
no, this conversation has been incredibly meaningful. I think your story, at least from my perspective, it reminds us so much about how leadership isn't about platforms or titles or achievements, but it's about living a life that we can put into others. So we influence and we give the example, especially one that we set an example when no one is watching. So I like the fact that you've mentored young athletes. I like the way that you've approached adversity with humility and courage. I would not want to go through what you went through at all.
I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah. But I think you've also this today have given us a clearer picture of what it really means to lead with purpose. So thank you for sharing your heart, for sharing your experience and your wisdom. So,
Thank you, Merv. It's
thank
been a
you.
pleasure to be here with you guys.
So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay grounded, stay grateful, and keep leading with purpose.
If today's conversation added value, make sure you subscribe. And if this episode resonated, please leave a quick review to help other leaders discover the show. And remember, leadership works best when you put people first. Let's lead with purpose, together.